Today's topic on the Mars Mindset is relationship advice from your friends, yay or nay. I know that different people have different ideologies on whether or not you should get relationship advice from your friends and sometimes family. So I figured it'd be a good conversation to have to see what people's perspectives are on getting relationship advice from a friend. Because in order to get relationship advice from a friend, you have to tell that friend your business, right? And sometimes that could be beneficial if they've been through, something similar. They might be able to help you traverse the hard times. But there's also the aspect of it to where you tell your friends what's going on in your relationship and it gives them a negative view of your significant other. Especially if you only, tell them about the negative stuff. If you only tell them about the negative stuff, then they kind of have this skewed version of your significant other in their mind. And then there's the matter of whether or not they're going to tell your other friends that they may know, right? So it's a lot that I think that goes into deciding whether or not you're going to talk to your friends about your relationship. I've done it before. I think it's been helpful in certain situations and not necessarily, or you could say it's been detrimental in others. But I guess you kind of live and you learn, and if you have the same group of friends for a long enough time, you can gauge which ones are going to give you good, solid advice. You don't always want to go to the ones who are just going to agree with you because you're their friend. You definitely want to have the ones that'll give you pushback sometimes and be like, no, I think you're wrong on this one. And that's how you know when you can really trust your friend, when they don't just tell you that you're right because y'all are cool. So that's what I would like to get into today. I think I'm just going to roll the dice and see if anybody wants to come in. And whoever's up first will be up first. If you happen to miss one of these episodes, I do post them to YouTube daily, Monday through Friday. So if you miss something, you missed a good topic, you can go to YouTube and catch up. So let's see. Hey!
Hey!
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I feel pretty good. Look, I absolutely appreciate you accepting my request to come on. We've never talked before, so for you to come on shows that you have a certain amount of trust in me.
Listen, you caught me off guard.
I apologize, but I do appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I don't have to keep you long necessarily, but I would like to ask you, in terms of relationship advice, do you think it's a good idea to get relationship advice from your friends?
From my perspective, I don't think it's a good idea because some of your friends, oh my God, they gonna come, it's gonna get back to you.
Hold on, what
And
you mean by that?
if you sit there and tell your friends and confide into your friends about your relationship problems, even though you know you need to vent a little bit, and you feel like they would be a good person to talk to at the time, but if it come back to you, you and your friend gonna fall out.
When you say come back to you, you mean like from
Like,
somebody else?
yes.
Oh, so you're saying like it's not good to tell your friends because they can't necessarily hold water. So you tell person
Yes.
A, and
I'm
then
gonna
person
say
F.
I'm gonna say some of them, not all of them, some of them.
Okay, then does the fact that some of them, what they say, one bad apple spoils the bunch, does the fact that some of them can't hold water make you look at it and say, well, you know what? I can't trust none of y'all.
Sometimes.
Okay, so then let's look at it this way. Is there, because this conversation has a lot of nuance, right? Because you could have a friend who will give you sound advice and has been through something similar. Does that make you more comfortable with going to them?
Yeah.
Okay. So then maybe for you, it's more so about whatever the relationship issue is, and if that friend can genuinely be of help to you.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, because I have one girlfriend and I have been kind of going through it a little bit,
Okay.
and she has been there for me. She's been there a lot, and I trust her.
Okay, well that's cool. I mean, that's good. I think it's important to have people to confide in. I think it's important
Hmm.
to have friends that, can validate your emotions or just be the space you need to listen to, and you could trust them to not tell other people,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So I mean, but you say you going through relationship stuff now?
I'm like, well, you know what? I'm glad I'm on here because I don't mind sharing a little bit.
Okay, well, if I mean if you want to share without really telling your business, you can. You know what I'm saying? I give people advice sometimes.
Yeah. I'm dating someone, but it's not really concrete, you know. But little stuff coming out, you
Little
know,
bats like little cockroaches or like little diamonds. There's a difference.
little cockroaches.
Oh god. Turn the lights back off. Get the raid. Get the raid.
I know, right?
Black flag.
Yes, yes. Just to let y'all know, I'm going to my dinner by myself.
When tonight?
No, it's next weekend. I'm like,
Oh, okay. So if you're willing to, without telling me your business too much, what is one of the little roaches that have manifested in this thing that are making you kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
he has an ex-wife.
Okay.
They still conversating.
Okay. So him and his ex-wife are still in contact. Do they have kids?
No,
Okay. So let me try to see if I can figure this out. So you don't like that he still converses with his ex-wife?
no, I don't like it.
Okay. So in a perfect world, would you say that you would rather he didn't talk to her at all?
It's just I know she got a lot of up under the belt with him. I do understand that. She has
Okay.
a lot. And but it's just certain times and places you don't need to be talking.
Oh, have you expressed that to him?
Yes,
How did that go? Good or bad? You don't have to go into detail. Was it good or bad?
bad.
Bad in the sense that he kind of lashed out, or just bad in the sense where he was just like, "Look, I'm going to do what I want to do."
Bad in a sense he lashed out.
Ah, how did?
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think? Do you think that you brought it up to him in a palatable way?
No, because I'm 52
Uh-huh.
and I have done that before,
Mhm.
but I have periodically throughout my years as I've done grown, I try not to do that. I try to listen to reason, not
Oh,
listen to reply.
okay, well that's good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you went out for a little
Can you
bit.
hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, my mom's. It's all good. My mom called. I should have called her before the show. Shoot. All right, so yeah, I mean, I would have to really dig into it to find out what's up. But do you think there's a bit of jealousy on your part at the fact that they have like a history?
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Okay.
lie.
Okay. So that's one thing you could do to take your power back, right? That's my whole thing. Take your power back is figure out how to work with that jealousy that you have or that insecurity, because that's really what it is.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
talk to
I,
her.
I mean, I understand a little bit, but it's kind of hard, because I'm real sensitive.
Okay. I am too.
I'm real sensitive. I'm like, mm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sensitive too, but I mean, I think I use my sensitivity as a way of improving my ability to communicate when I'm triggered or when I'm sensitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, even even if I have the emotion or the sensitivity, I can still function and get my point across in a palatable way so that whoever it is that I'm talking to can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Most times,
because
I guess we all have our moments, but most times.
yeah, most times, because I would refer you to talk to me, not at me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lashing out is you're never gonna get nothing, no understanding when you're lashing out and trying to get your point across. You'll never get an understanding of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Typically, when someone's like lashing out, screaming, and yelling, nobody really wants to hear that anyway, right?
No. Mm-mm.
So that makes it a little more, a little less likely for us to actually listen. Now, before I let you go,
Okay.
have you talked to this? Have you talked to any of your friends about how you feel about the ex-wife?
Yes.
And what did they say?
My sister, oh Lord Jesus. My sister, she's the more calmer person and the more on point with everything and doing it the right way and cut you off in a minute
Okay,
kind of
so
person.
so your sister basically like, hey, nah, like cut that joint off, cut it off.
Yeah, yeah. Don't even listen to him. Don't even give him no explanation how you feel about nothing. Just leave him alone. He's a snake.
Because he still converse with his ex-wife,
Yeah.
who he has kids with.
No, he
He
doesn't.
doesn't have kids with.
Huh?
How long were they together for?
Oh my God. 20 something years?
Girl, that's his friend. I mean, like, like it's his friend.
Listen.
You supposed to. I don't know. I'm just messing with you. I'm
Okay,
just
listen to me. Okay, listen.
okay. I'm
Well,
listening.
why he can't just say, okay, I'm still talking to her. She still be talking to me. It's nothing, bad about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just she called me every blue moon
Mm-hmm.
and she talks to me. Don't try to paint it like another picture, like she's this
Uh-uh.
terrible, terrible person. And then I won't look at it like that.
Ah, okay. So you saying the picture that he's painting isn't reality, and that's really what causes the issue.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, maybe your sister is right. But if your sister's
Yeah.
right, then what you do? You just cut bait.
Listen, I'm debating right now.
Oh. Well, I mean, you could just have another. How long y'all been talking?
Oh my God, we've been talking for like, a year maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I think y'all could probably sit down and have a good, genuine conversation. Okay. So here's what I think.
Hi.
That's Julie. Julie's always
Hey,
here.
Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Um,
Good.
this is what I think you should do, right? You should sit him down and be like, look, I really, I like you. I enjoy hanging out with you, dating you, whatever the case may be. But I really want to get a better understanding of what the relationship is between you and your ex-wife. Because to be honest, it bothers me a little bit. I'm sensitive. I'm insecure. And I think if we have this conversation, it might help me better understand your position. And you go into
Okay.
the conversation, like you said, with the intent of learning instead of just replying or, not really getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
So try that and see. Let it come back and let us know what happens. But you got to do it before the dinner so you don't have to go on a dinner date by yourself.
I know, right?
Yeah, we don't want you going on a dinner date by yourself.
She can though, Charles. There's nothing wrong with going to dinner by
That's
yourself.
you're
But
right.
she doesn't want to go to dinner by herself. That's why she brought it up because she really would like for herself.
I would, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm 52 years old. I'm a big girl. If he don't want to go, I will go by myself.
Did you tell him that you wanted him to go?
I asked him,
Okay, I'm him. Tell me how. Let's hypothetical. Let's show. I mean, we're gonna role play. How did you ask him?
okay, due to the point that we have a little falling out, I called him. I said I was just checking to see if we're still on for the dinner date. He
Oh,
said, he said, I'm not for sure yet. I don't know. I said,
oh,
well, just let you know if you don't want to go, it's fine with me because it's next Friday and you really don't have time to be making decisions. It's either you're going or you're not.
Uh-oh.
hmm.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm just thinking like it's.
I
I mean,
don't
I get your
know if that
point,
was the
right?
right way.
Well, no, the only thing I'm thinking
What
is,
you say?
what'd you say, Julie?
I said I don't know if that was the from what I'm learning. I don't know if that was the best. What did you say, Charles? Tone or choice of words?
Well, I just think I'm no expert. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at
Yeah.
communicating, but I do think that had you said, I kind of need to know soon, and I really would like for you to go with me. That's why I'm trying to get that confirmation now, because I want you to go with me on the dinner date. I know we beefing, we have our little falling out, but I still want to spend time with you at the dinner date. Um,
Well, I'll give him a couple of more days.
yeah, give him some days. Give him some days. He's probably a good guy, but yeah, sit him down and talk about the ex-wife thing and see what's up.
And thank y'all.
We appreciate you too. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Julie Bean,
I'm painting my pantry.
why are you painting?
Huh?
Why are you painting?
Because I am removing these shelves, and I said, first I need to clear the space and make it fresh, and then put the new stuff in.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. I hope that goes well for you. Keisha, I see that you said you were in bed and you were sick, and I haven't seen you on the live in a while, so I was hoping you were okay. So I'm glad to see that you're here in the chat with us, and we hope you feel better and all of that good stuff. Julie Bean,
Yeah,
do you go to your friends for relationship advice?
absolutely. Every last one of them. Every last four of them.
And how has that worked out for you, Julie?
Um, I think it works out. They keep me grounded, and they give me like truthful advice, not what I want to hear. That's why I trust going to them. Like, I don't have friends that just want to tell me what I want to hear. That doesn't work for me. And they'll tell me when I'm wrong and when I need to sit down and shut up and apologize, or you said that the wrong way. Like, my friends are honest with me. So I definitely go to them for advice, especially like, their situations, like one is divorced, the other one is married, the other, like, they're not all in the same category. So I get to hear different perspectives.
Okay, yeah, I think different perspectives is definitely good. Yogi Life says your movement is making me nauseous, Julie.
I'm
Said you moving
sorry.
he said you moving too much.
Okay,
Um,
okay, I'll stay still.
how have you ever what's the worst advice a friend ever gave you? Like, has a friend ever given you advice on something to say or something to do, and then you did it, and then you're like, that was a dud.
Um, no. Well, how could I say? She gave me the advice, but I haven't done it because I'm too afraid.
Okay, let's stop there. What advice did your friend give you that
She
you
told
haven't?
me she told me to go have sex with like a first date, like a
Whew,
one night stand.
why would your friend tell you to do that?
Because it's been a while, and she just said, I just need to take a risk one day and just live a little.
Yeah, no, Julie, don't do that.
So, okay. So that's why, I haven't done it, but I mean, I'm not sure if that's the greatest advice.
Now, I'm reasonably sure that's not good advice. Now, I get her intimate in the sense that she's probably like, you know, you need to get out there and all of that good stuff and get back into the game and, you know, feet back wet. But first date, give it up? No.
Yeah, and my friends are not judgmental, so you know we have every kind of conversation you can think of. So yeah, that was the advice that I got. I don't know if it was the best advice, and I haven't done it, but that was out there a little bit.
Okay, as a friend, are you eager to give advice as a friend?
Um, I will give people my opinion. Uh, that's something I'm working on because not everybody needs to hear what I think. But yes, I do give my opinion often, and I need to learn to listen more. And if they want advice, ask them first. I don't usually do that.
Oh, well, you get advice from me, and I'm a friend.
Right, but you told me sometimes people just want to be heard, not necessarily receive advice. So that's what I'm working on. Because when someone comes to me, I immediately put on my helping hat, and I don't ask whether they want that side of me or not.
So you just start fixing, even though they
Immediately.
yeah, you're rude. Like, what if I just stopped by to say hi, and then I just took your paintbrush and just started painting for you?
I would sit back and be like, "Great
That
job."
was a terrible example.
I would be like, "You want some water?"
I take that one back. I take that one back. I take that one back. Mm. So we know a little bit of your story. You were in a relationship for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did you ever talk to your friends about the negative aspects of your significant other throughout that time?
Yes, I did.
Do you think that ever skewed their view of him?
No, not these particular friends that I have, because even though I did like call to vent, I spent like 6 years telling them how great he was. So it was kind of balancing out.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, well, it sounds like you got a good group of friends, Julie B.
Yeah, I absolutely love. I would not be where I am without these four people. So and the thing is, like, they will tell me when I'm wrong, and I think that's so important to keep people grounded, because when I have a problem and I call them, immediately I think I'm right, and they'll be like, actually not. Like, actually pick up the phone, hang up the phone, and call them back and apologize. And I'll be like, apologize, and they'll be like, yeah, you messed up this time.
So did you, when the times when they told you to apologize, did you apologize, or did
Yeah,
you just
after
tell them you were going to?
no. Like, after they said, they showed me the different perspective,
Mm.
and gave me the breakdown. Like, for example, that lady that was just on, how you did the role play with her, and I said, I don't know about that tone. It's because I was like that. Like, my tone was rough sometimes, and my friends would be like, he's not gonna open up to anything if you talk to him like that, and I would have to suck it up and apologize and figure out a different way to communicate. So, and I
Oh,
have them for that.
one of your friends is in here. I don't know if they one of your four friends, but they follow you or you follow
Who's
them. So
that?
I don't know. I just started inviting people to see if they wanted to come talk to me. Her
Who's
name
that?
is Irina.
Oh, Irina.
Tell
I
Irina to
don't
come
know.
on in. I sent her the request so she can come in and see what she thinks about getting advice from friends.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one for her. She just moved to Florida too. So, and that's the other thing. Like, I've had these group of friends for many, many years, like
Mm-hmm.
more than 10, 12 years. So I'm not like developing personalities and like figuring, like, we've gone through it, together, and they have seen my life changed drastically over the years, and they're still as honest. I think it maybe has to do with the person, because I really do truly ask for honesty. So
Mhm.
maybe that's what it is.
Hmm.
Because there are some friends that I know that I'm like, nah, I can't tell them the truth like that. They'll never talk to me again. So I just
You
kind of
can't
keep
tell
it
them the truth. 'Cause what?
because maybe in their personality, like they can't handle the raw truth, you know? So I'm not the like I'll call one of my friends and be like, hey, can you call Sophia and tell her in a nice way how to do X, Y, and Z? You know, because I still haven't figured out how to say it in a nice way. And they help me. They really do help me like construct the wording and the tone and all of that to communicate, because I need that help sometimes.
So you're direct and blunt.
Oh, absolutely. So I know who I can and cannot in my group of friends say something, and I'll be like, "Can you translate that? Because if it comes from me, we're gonna be here crying all night."
But you're always trying to come from a good place, though, right?
But it is a good place. I just sometimes I think honesty is the best policy, and sometimes I don't have enough time to. That's what it is. I don't have enough time in my brain to figure out how to say it the right way, you know, when it needs to be said. And some of my friends are better at that than I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something that I think I got good at. And so one of the things that I found helps with that is pausing. Like if you notice when I talk, I'll pause sometimes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's I'm doing two things when I create the pause. One is that I'm avoiding saying because it just sounds better when you don't say
Yeah, I agree.
right? And I still do it, but I try to be more conscious of it. But I'm also giving my mind time to process what is a really good way of explaining this, or what's the best possible way I can come up with right now to explain this.
So I have not reached a point in my brain to process that quickly. So I do pause sometimes, but other times I I'm just gonna say it because it's gonna take me too long.
And then your friends just end up getting mad at you because you're brutally honest.
Yeah. So that's why I have my group of friends, and then I have my immediate like, hey, tell me how to say this really, really fast in a
It's like
nice
the little
way.
mic. It's like the little mic.
Like really, really fast. And even like when we have events and stuff, my face, like she'll shove me and be like, relax your eyebrows, smile. Like, get rid of that face you're making, because I don't even realize it. But I think it's great.
So you're a facial expression. I'm a facial expression person, right? So I may be able to not say something, but my face will tell you everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My wife will be like, "Why'd you make? It's about the face that you made. You made a face," and I'm like, "But you don't get to interpret my face, you
Oh,
know."
people do it though. People are gonna do it no matter what. So it's like you have to be so careful and cautious. And I think it's great to have a group of friends that know you that well, that can be like,
Tighten up, tighten up.
yeah.
Johanna or Johanna.
Yes, Joanna.
Joanna, is it
Hi.
Joanna? Okay.
Yes.
Hi. Good to see
Hi.
you.
I'm good. How are you?
I feel pretty good. Do you get relationship advice, or have you ever gotten relationship advice from your friends?
Absolutely.
Um, is that a
Yes.
net positive or a net negative?
It's gone both ways. I've had it coming positive and negative. You know, it just depends on their opinion of the situation.
I have a
Okay. So,
question.
oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Do you accept their opinion based on how you're feeling, or do you accept their opinion based on the facts of the situation?
Yeah. I base their opinion based on what's happening in the relationship.
Okay, that's good.
Hmm. So what's the worst advice you ever got? I'm pretty sure it wasn't go sleep with some guy on the first date.
No. All right, been there and done that. No, just kidding.
You see? It's not
Okay,
me
second date.
then.
I'll be honest. Second date. Second date.
I'm gonna do it one day.
I've been alone for
I'm gonna do it one day. I'm gonna change my name. I'll maybe wear a wig or something, and one day I'm gonna do it just to say I did it one time.
That's like saying,
Chels, your face, Chels.
that's as dangerous as meth. Seriously, because that's like saying, well, I've never used drugs, but I think I want to try meth. And then you try it, and then you're hooked. Then you're all messed up. Don't do it. I'm telling you, girl, don't do it. No, it's a no. It's a
really? You can get hooked to that?
Well, once you do it, I gotta figure out a place to put you guys. Once you've done it, you can't take it back. That's the problem. That's
right,
the problem.
but that doesn't mean you just do it over and over and over again.
Some people do.
Oh.
What she's saying is, you might like it.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. And what it does, especially if you're doing that with a friend, it can.
Oh no, not a friend.
Okay. Well, some people do because they feel safe or, whatever reasons, right? But when you do that, it's going to interfere with real relationships on down the road. And I look at my body like this. My body is not an amusement park for any man. My body's sacred. And if you get me, then, that's you got it. And there's no, it's just a very special place to be with another person. It's very, obviously, sex is very intimate. I think the worst advice that I'd ever been given is to move him on.
Oh,
we are still together. We just celebrated our 1-year dating anniversary. He texts his ex-partner happy anniversary, and she texts him happy anniversary Valentine's Day. And this year she asked him, he was here at my place, and she made a comment. She goes, I hope this doesn't get you in trouble. So I have a counselor, and I'm also a certified relationship coach. However, I don't have a lot of life experiences, but I have a lot of book learning. So I'm kind of, because I was married for 43 years, because we've talked about that before. Mm-hmm. And so I lived kind of a sheltered lifestyle. We didn't cheat. We didn't lie. I don't lie. I don't cheat. Neither did he. But, it's when I talked to my counselor, she said that it's not him or not her. It's not that other woman. It's him, because he's empowering her and allowing her to continue to keep something going. That's should have been dead a long time ago, because it wasn't a good ending. They're not really friends. He hasn't talked to her for years, but yet they keep this flow, happy anniversary, happy birthday going. And I'm not comfortable with that. And if it were to continue, I would probably end that relationship. Even though he's a great guy, he's great with my son. I'm not gonna be any man's side dish ever. I'm a main dish, not a side dish.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The advice that you got to let the guy go, was that in this particular situation?
Yes.
So why did you feel like that advice is so bad?
Well, because I think that, I feel that if we were in counseling together as a couple, like premarital counseling, things like that, because it's kind of moving in that direction with both of us. And if someone else explained to him that, this is really not healthy, it's like watering a dead plant. If they were been married and they had kids together, that they're going to have grandkids, there's going to be weddings. I don't have a problem with that. He was not married to her, and she was like almost old. She was old enough to be his mother. And she kind of, the way that I see it, he was like 20, she was 40, and so she kind of took him out of the prime of his life, and he's never had kids.
Wait a minute. Julie, you're funny. She's 20 years older than he is.
Yeah, she's 80. Well, wait, now he's gonna be 62. But you
Oh, that's
know,
crazy. Wait a minute.
he was a young guy. He was in his 20s, and he was mature for his age. And she kind of took it. I feel she took advantage of him in a sense
Yeah, it
because
sounds like.
he didn't have any more kids. Hysterectomies end that for women. You know, I don't know. I've never had any. I'm a classic. I have all my original parts. You know,
Right.
and so, but I feel that for whatever reason, you know, to allow her to do that, he still has something for her, some feeling of caring. Well, what do you think? You're a man. Why would you keep that going and never talk to the person, never see the person, and only keep that? Now, if we didn't live in the age of technology, how could they be texting back and forth? How would they get on with each other?
She's
Again,
80 and she texts.
80.
That's pretty good.
What is so funny?
I'm laughing.
I'm laughing and I didn't know why.
I said she's 80 and she texts. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, she's 80 and she's still kicking game to the 20-year-old that she was with when she was 40.
Oh no, he's 61. He'll be 62 next month. But when they were together, which was 20 years ago, 20 years ago, and they're so happy anniversary, I told him, I said, baby, you got no anniversary. And the reason that I probably, now let me explain something to you guys though. She's going to understand this probably more. That was my wedding anniversary with my late husband of 43 years.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say, hey, baby, happy anniversary. I have no one to go back to because he died. And so part of me feels angry that he has a person that he can go back to. And I don't.
Have you expressed that to him? Have y'all said that? Talk about it?
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
Is he unwilling to let go of Granny?
Currently, yeah.
That's messed up, Chels.
Julie,
Yes.
she's right.
Yes.
So I guess
Yes.
what I'm trying to figure out is if they were together back when he was 20, they were together for 40 years ago.
No, well, no. He was in his early, like maybe 25 to 27. And she was in her 40s. Okay, he's a musician, and he was playing in the she was a waitress, and he was a guitarist. And so he said her kids are the same age as him. But then he said, quote, they started out as lovers, and a year later he moved her in with him. They lived together for about maybe 12 years, and he moved her out. They still dated, but he moved her into her own place, and they dated each other people for a little while. Then he went back to her. Then he ended it completely. He ended that relationship. Then he married a woman from work that he'd been dating for another 5 years. Then he married her because they were going to have children, and they were married for 6 years, no kids, and she had a texting affair, and she's married to another man now. And this is her third husband. The other woman,
I can't get one husband.
Man has a boy. She had been married 4 times prior to him moving her in with him. 4 marriages.
Okay, so
I just want one.
has there ever been a point in the last, I don't know, 30 some odd years that they weren't in communication?
No, I don't think so. No. Not
That's
that.
like,
Julie, what do you think about it?
I think that's just like comfort, like, you know, familiarity. 30 years is a long time to communicate with someone, and then that's almost like their family. Gosh, she could be his grandmother or whatever.
So how you gonna handle it?
Well, we've discussed counseling.
Okay.
And whatever the outcome of that is, whatever will be, will be.
Or can I give you my opinion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chelsea is a great counselor. You can reach him offline, and I'm sure that he can help you traverse this situation.
I probably could. I could probably help you. If you were interested, just shoot me a DM and let me know. Um, I was gonna ask you though, just not in terms of counseling, but you're a really nice lady. Have you ever thought about finding you a grandpa to kind of even everything out?
Well,
She said she doesn't do that,
oh,
Chels.
no. I only date older black men. I was abused as a small child by the white man, and I just can't. It's a trigger. It's a trigger for me. I
Uh-huh.
cannot be with an older white man. It's just that simple. And so I date exclusively black men, and typically they're at least 5 years older than me. I never had a dad. I had a single mom. Had many boyfriends coming and going
Mm-hmm.
that were not always nice to us kids, and so that's a little bit of my history. But I don't. For me, I feel that, if you're still connected to someone that you used to sleep with and live with and do life with, like you played married, you're not married, you weren't married, but you were pretending to be married or playing house or whatever you want to call it, shacking up, if you still have to keep that connection, that tells me that there's something still kicking. There's still something there that if they totally had no more contact, how would they feel? How would he feel? How would she feel? Now, see, her making the comment, I hope this doesn't get you in trouble, tells me that she feels that she has the power to disrupt any of his future relationships. And she doesn't. Not with me anyway. Because
So
she's not the problem. He's the problem.
okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
This bothers you, right? Like this is an issue for you.
Well, it only bothers me that time of year. Her birthday, his birthday, and Valentine's Day. That's when we keep living life as if it doesn't exist. And
Uh-huh.
when those dates come up again, it's just like it reboots it. It reboots the whole thing. It gets all ugly. And I don't say anything. I have a lot of energy that comes from me. He felt that.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I was on fire because we've just gotten back from a weekend getaway for Valentine's Day. And
here comes the text message from Granny.
and then he told me, he goes, "Oh, I got a message from blank." I'm like, "What?" And so, and that,
Is she on Instagram?
Huh?
Is she on Instagram?
I don't know. She's on Facebook.
Huh. We should look her up.
Chels, what?
Nope.
I want to see what this 80-year-old that he texts
Nope.
4 times a year. I want to see what she looks like.
Well, my friends tell me I have nothing to worry about because they've seen the screenshot. They just got nothing to worry about. And it doesn't matter to me anyway, because, the skin is the skin and it goes away and things happen to it. And if that's all you care about a person for, to me, you're a shallow person and I wouldn't want to be with you anyway.
So, somebody said that she's going to kick the bucket in about 5 years anyway. So just
I was going to say
there.
less than 5. But
She's past the American life expectancy. But no, this is what I was going to ask you. If it bothers you to the degree that it bothers you, I get it that it's only, on those dates.
Yeah.
Why is it that you subject yourself to it then? If it bothers you?
Because you in a relationship, there's weigh and balance.
Uh-huh.
Now, you can't take a man that does all these good things and then this one thing ends it. It doesn't work. Not for me. It doesn't work like that for me. I balance it out. He's a great guy. He'd make a great husband. He's a good father figure for my son. He's good to us. He's got his issues, of course, we all do. But, it works. It works for us. But, there's still that point in life to where you're like, well, that's a deal breaker for me. I was the baby in my family. I don't share. And I'm certainly not going to share my man with another woman. And I was in a relationship before, and we've casually dated for about 8 months. And I asked him not too long ago. I said, and we've been friends for decades. And I asked him, I said, if we would have been in a more permanent relationship, would you have cheated? He said, probably not. I said, okay. I was just curious because I feel like if I'm not enough for you, then I shouldn't be with you.
Do you consider what he's doing cheating?
It's emotional affair. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Because his energy is going to that woman and causing a conflict in our relationship. And he allows that to happen.
Hmm.
I don't say anything. I mean, I did. I brought it out. And we talked about going to counseling, but you know how
So
that goes.
what was his response when you brought it up to him? The first time you
Oh,
told
he said I was being
he thought you were being what?
silly.
Silly because he's texting the lady that he's
No,
been.
because I told him that it upset me. I said, that upsets me. You know, you're in my home, actually on my bed. We'd gotten back from a hot springs. And I told him, I said, why don't you go ahead and go up and lay down and rest for a while? Because it was a drive, and he's got some medical disabilities, I guess you'd say, physical limitations.
Mhm.
And I said, I'll put the food away and take care of stuff. And I did. So then when I went up there to bring him some hot tea, he was on with her. And I felt like it just blew up in my face. And I was like, I couldn't even speak. I mean, I had so much heat. He felt the energy in that room was on high. And I wasn't doing anything, but I felt a heat coming from me. I've never felt that before in my life.
Were you able to communicate with him while you were experiencing the anger?
No, I couldn't speak. I had to come back downstairs. It wasn't until later that I was able to go back up and tell him that, you know, that was really hurtful to me. And it was upsetting.
So
He's silly.
so what would it look like? Because what you basically said was all of the good things that he brings far outweigh these 3 or 4 times during the year where he's texting our great grandma.
Yes.
So,
In a dating relationship, not a marriage.
okay. So are you guys planning on getting married?
Well, we've talked like it's going that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
He hasn't asked me. No.
Okay.
But
Well,
he's
I got you on that. But I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, in your mind, so it's like you're to a degree you're accepting it right now because you know about it and you haven't.
Well, no, I'm not accepting it. He knows that it's an unresolved issue that needs to be addressed, and it's his issue, so I'm going to let him take care of it. So he needs to contact the priest or the rabbi or the whoever, or contact a counselor. Well, I'm Jewish and he's Catholic, so that's why I said rabbi and priest. And so, like, we make jokes, if we get married, we have to have a rabbi and a priest. But, you know, for a dating relationship, you know, it is what it is. And he knows
I have
that.
a question.
But if he were to ask me to marry him, I can't marry him when he still has, I feel, somebody on the side.
Okay, got you. Julie got a question. What do you say, Julie?
If it's bothering you, how is that his issue?
I can't hear her.
She said, if it's bothering you, how is that his issue?
Well, he's the one that causes his actions cause the effects of other people. Now, if somebody approaches you, like you were talking about your friends and how they're honest with you. Now, if your friends approached you and weren't honest with you, you might take issue with that and you would say something. And so you might not really trust them completely in the future to give you good information about relationships. It's kind of the same, in more of retrospect. It's like some people can stay with a man that's cheated on them. They get back together. They stay married, and usually they're married people. I'm not married to him, so I look at my relationship as, you know, it's a committed dating relationship. And if it were to move into a marriage, then we have to. When we're married, we behave like married people. When we're single, we behave like single people, and that's why it's not as much an issue right now because we are just dating. But if he were to ask me to marry him, those things would need to be addressed before I could marry him. Because you don't want to go into a marriage bringing your baggage, and that's what it is, it's baggage from your past, another woman or another man, into that relationship. Now, if you've known each other for years, you were part of that circle, you work together, that's a different kind of relationship. This has nothing to do with me. It's his issue that's unresolved. He's the one texting, not me.
Yeah, but I think what Julie is saying is he's okay with the situation. You're not.
Well, of course he's okay with it. Why wouldn't he be? That's like if I was still hooked up with the guy I was dating before I was dating him.
Right. Back when you were 25.
No, back a year ago.
Okay. So I guess the way, and I probably can speak for Julie and I both on this one. To me, I understand what you're saying. Like it's his
It's
he's
his
the
ex.
cause.
It's not
Huh?
my ex. His ex.
I
It's
got you.
his ex, his relationship, his friendship, his lover, not mine.
Yeah,
My lover doesn't call and say, "Hey, girl, happy anniversary, baby." You know, I don't get that from my ex-lover.
right. I get that, but what we're saying is that you're not completely powerless in the situation, right? Like you're subjecting yourself to it.
Well,
So
I wouldn't use the term powerless. It's just that if it gets to the point of marriage, he's got to know, he already knows what he knows. And he's been told, this is not okay with me. I'm uncomfortable with it. You know, it's like an emotional affair. You're putting your energy, your talk, your time into a woman that you say you've been done with for 20 years. Well, then why do you do that? You know, I think a lot of it has to do with healing. I think people cannot move into new relationships until they heal from their past relationships. And if they're not completely healed, well, you don't just kick them to the curb. You give them, for me, I give them an opportunity to not just listen to me, but to hear me. Don't just listen to these words that I'm saying, but hear my heart. Now, why would a woman want to be with a man that knows he's hurting her heart and he's okay with that?
why would you continue to be with him?
In a dating relationship, there's always the possibility of a change.
After 30 years?
Well, anytime,
I don't
anything.
know.
Well, you said she could die in 5 years. You know, anything can, honestly, anything can happen. And so, you know, and honestly,
Oh,
she died. He told me if she dies, he wants to go to her funeral, along with 4 other guys, maybe 5, maybe 10. I don't know. They're all going to be standing there. Oh, there she's gone. I don't know. I'm telling you.
So let's end this for right now, right? Just for the time being. If my great grandma croaks over and kicks the bucket within the next year, and your guy wants to go to the funeral, is it going to be an issue with him going to the funeral?
Oh, I would go with him. I would go.
You want to see that lady in the grave?
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
appreciate you. If you want a life coach, hit me up. Hit me in the DM. Okay.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All
Have
right,
a good
peace.
one.
You too.
Bye.
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 That was.
I just want one husband.
Hey, Julie. Y'all new women, y'all ain't got nothing on these old women. This lady 80 years old, and she gave me the dude that she had when she was 40 and he was 25.
Listen,
I got step y'all game up.
Yeah, clearly, soon, real soon.
Hold up, but I thought I saw Tyrell coming here. I was gonna ask him his opinion. Hold on.
Wow.
Oh, nah, he's not in here anymore. It's all good. So, Julie,
Yeah.
if you were dating a guy who was texting the lady that he was with when he was 25 and she was 40, and now this lady's 80, she still knows how to use an iPhone and send text messages, how are you going to deal with this?
I mean, she's 80. I ain't got nothing to worry about.
You just gonna let it ride?
I'm just gonna let it happen.
Huh. Because she's not gonna make it too much longer anyway.
80?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it sure is. And you know what, too? Like, I wouldn't really put too much pressure on, like, if I'm dating someone.
Mm-hmm.
Because Isn't like dating? There's no like requirements and all that stuff.
I think if you're dating exclusively, then there are boundaries and things that are set for the relationship. I think if you're just dating non-exclusively, then people should, people tend to do whatever it is that they want to do. That story that she gave was just amazing to me because the more she told it, the more I'm like, wait, this lady's 80?
Yeah. Listen, I got so much to learn. Don't ask me nothing.
Hold on, Vicky. Give me a second. Let me get, because she's asking to come in, but she was still on the screen. Try and get Vicky back in and see what she got going on for the day. Vicky.
Hey.
Okay, so we're gonna start asking you questions before you lose service.
Yes, please.
Relationship advice from your friends. Are you the type of person that gets relationship advice from your friends?
Sometimes.
That sounded like a
Nah.
sometimes.
I see him jumping on. I'm like, sometimes. Nah, actually, I'm the one that's always giving advice. Just because I haven't been in a relationship in a long time. But I've dealt with, multiple different types of relationships. So I'm the one that's actually giving advice.
So how does that work? Do you think you're a good relationship advice giver?
Yeah, I think I am.
Are you fair and impartial?
Yeah, I'm seeing on both sides, like putting myself in the other person's shoes,
Okay,
giving the benefit of the doubt.
I'm sorry.
Darn it.
What'd you say?
No, I just saw the spinning. I'm like, I got full bars and it's
Nah,
still spinning.
You're good on my end. I'll let you know when you start spinning on my end.
Okay.
How do women feel about men talking to their boys about their relationships?
You said how do women feel?
How do women feel about their boyfriends or husbands talking about the relationship with their friends? Like, are you okay with it?
I mean, I never really have any problems with it. It really depends on what type of friend it is, though. Like which friend it is. It's the single friend that's still out there trying to be, single and want their homeboy to still be single, so they're gonna give them all the not so good advice. Or is it the one who is in a solid relationship and give him sound advice? It really depends on who he's getting the advice from.
But that's not fair to the single guy. What if the single guy just, he just lives his lifestyle, but he can still be fair and impartial?
Hey, I'm not saying that there's not any fair single guys out there that is fair, that's not fair and impartial, but that's what I was saying. Like, it really depends on the particular friend it is, if I will have a problem or not.
Okay.
If it's the bachelor, the one who's always lying for his friend.
Hold on. Hold on. What y'all not gonna do is start trashing the G code. The G code, nothing to do with being single or married. The G code stands, right? But we still gotta respect the G code. Yeah, dog, I got you. You could catch the smoke, but for right now, I got you.
Yeah.
I saw a video today, and he was a comedian, and he was saying that he does not take advice from his male friends because men don't ever have good advice.
Men have what?
He said that men don't ever have good advice to give.
Oh.
So why would he take advice from his friends?
Well, maybe he got some bad friends. I got some good friends that have given me some good advice throughout the years. So I appreciate my good fellas.
Yeah, that's different. That's good. Like when you got, my thing is this. The ones that say that they don't got good friends and they won't take advice from their friends, it's like, why are you friends with them?
Because you're not good at giving advice either. None of y'all. Right? One of my good friends, my man Nick, and I kind of remember the first time that I knew that Nick was the type of person that I could get advice from. And I don't remember the story he was telling me, but he was telling me the story about something that he had going on. And he basically took an L in the story. He took a loss, right? And that's when I realized, like, oh, this dude is real, because he's telling me a story where he's not the winner at the end of the story, right? He just keeping it, he keeps it real. He's being honest about what happened. And when he told me that, I was like, oh, okay, so this is somebody that I could actually talk to and get advice from, or actually tell him, like, yo, I had this bad thing happen to me. I felt like I took an L, and be open with. And to me, that's kind of the gauge for what you can kind of get advice from people for, because if you take an L, they're going to tell you took an L and be honest with you. Or if you're right, they're going to be like, nah, dog, if you was wrong, I tell you, I'm tell you straight up, you know, you was wrong, and that you might want to go apologize. So Nick is one of the people that I'll go to, and he'll be like, nah, dog, you know, she right on this one. You might just want to go back and apologize and take your L.
That's a good friend.
Yeah, Nick, my man. I got a couple good friends. My man George, my man Jermaine. You know what I'm saying? I got a nice group of guys that.
You know, you can count them in one hand.
Nah, actually, my group of friends, we actually, I got a good group of people. But I mean, you gotta think I'm a cop, so I'm already, you know, initiated into this thing to where there's a certain level of trust that just simply exists. You know, not all I'm not gonna get advice from, but you know, it's all good.
You got your filters.
Yeah, you definitely gotta have filters, and you got different friends that you get different advice for. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, if I have an issue with my wife, I might go to a particular friend. But if my wife has an issue with me, I might go to the other friend, just based on their life experiences, or you know, the perspectives that they may give. Yeah.
One is gonna favor you a little bit more in this situation.
Well,
rather
you do gotta,
than the other situation.
you gotta kind of know what your friends' histories are, because you know, because like you can really only give people advice either through you can only give it through your lens. Now you can widen your lens enough to not have your perspective only be based on your experiences, but your experiences still affect your perspective, right? Even if I'm telling you to do something the opposite of what I did, I'm telling you to do the opposite of what I did because I know how it turned out when I did it. So it's still filtered through my experience. It's just the opposite. I made a right, go right, the traffic down that way, so go left, go the other way. It's still the same, you know, it's still the same filter. But Vicky, did I ask you this? What's the worst advice you ever gave a friend? Like, if you gave somebody advice and then you thought about it and was like, ooh. No. I sure hope she didn't make that phone call yet, because this one probably wasn't it.
Dang, I'm gonna have to think. That's funny. I mean, not more so relationship. Dang, did I ever give a bad relationship? I know probably at work I gave somebody some bad advice and I found out it was wrong. And I had to go back and be like, ooh, that's my bad. I literally had to go to my boss and be like, look, don't get on her about it because I told her to do it. And I didn't know the policies changed that quick. Like, I could have sworn that this was like, so I had to take the heat for that one. But as far as like relationships, okay. So this situation is a little different because I was hearing one side of the story from a female friend of mine. And her side of the story just seems so legit. It seems so legit. Until I started hearing the conversation between her and him, because I was in the midst of the whole conversation or disagreement. And I was like, should I tell her right now? She wrong? Like, so I waited. You know what I'm saying? You know how you wait till the heat died down because everybody up here, right? And I'm like the middle ground, like, you know, Oh, girl, I should record. I should have recorded this because I'm like, I don't think she really hear herself right now. She didn't make any sense, and I was just like, "But she told me that he wasn't doing this, and he was doing everything, and she was like making that one thing that he didn't do, the biggest, like magnifying glass, and I'm like, girl, she made him seem so horrible, and I'm hearing his part, and I'm just like." So I had to wait. I had to wait a day or two for her to like really. She was like, "Shree, you get what I'm saying?" And I was just like,
Nah.
"You, you want the truth? Like you want me to tell you the truth, girl? You tripping? You tripping? What did I miss?" I said, "Well, pause. Give it a second." So I had to replay her a short snippet of the conversation, and she was like, "I mean, but he's still wrong." I was like, "Girl, your man doing too much. Like he was doing too much for her, paying this, paying that, and because he did not pay this one particular thing, she flipped the story like he ain't paid nothing at all."
Oh, see, that's a good game. But I'm glad. But see, that's good though, because you're a good friend. Because you stayed true. The only thing I'm wondering is, did the guy ever find out that he was really in the right? Like, did she go back and admit, like, you know what, I was wrong?
No, she didn't go back to admit it. But later on, like when we were all together, it was like this game, when you get together, we playing, certain type of games. And I just kind of threw it out there because we were all comfortable with each other. I just kind of threw it out there. I was just like, so how did that whole situation go? Like, how did it go? And he was like, "What you talking about?" When she was tripping. And I'm like, so did you tell him? And she was like, giving me the eye, like, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Oh, she was there. Oh, so both of them was there.
Yeah, we were all, it was amongst other people though. Like, I
Right.
wasn't trying to say what it was. So I was kind of speaking in code at the same time.
Right.
And I was just like, how the situation go? He was like, "What you mean? Like when she was tripping?" And I was like, yeah. And she was giving me the eye, like, "Sheree, no, don't. And I was like, she ain't tell him." She ain't tell him. She want to be right. You know what I mean? So I hope eventually she said something. I just didn't say nothing. I didn't feel like it was my place to say at that time because there was other people around. So I didn't want to like, rekindle anything that they kind of mushed or hashed or whatever.
Yeah.
But I hope she did eventually. I don't know. I don't even talk to them no more. So I hope they're doing all right.
Okay. So you heard that she was wrong, and now y'all not even friends anymore. So now she's really
Like,
dogging and out spending all of his money because she doesn't have a good buffer, and he's like broke. You're gonna see him downtown. You're gonna see him downtown with a cup and a little cardboard sign.
I wouldn't say he broke. I'm just saying, like, I just hope that they worked and hashed it out. It's not that we're not like friends. I just don't. They have a different lifestyle than what I am, in right now. So I still speak to them. I just don't hang out with them as much. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. Being someone who's heavily into your faith, if you were in a relationship or you were seeking relationship advice, do you think you would be more likely to seek someone who was aligned with your faith for advice, or do you think you would just seek someone who maybe had just simple life experience if you had to choose between the two?
If I had to choose, I would
Yeah. If you,
choose both. If I had to choose, I would choose both. I can't just choose one.
why not? You can't because they both you gotta pick one or the other.
Okay, I would choose the one with my faith, but then I would just take it, you know, to God in prayer.
Oh, okay. God gives good advice.
Yeah. Oh, he gives great advice. He also helps you out when people are giving you not so great advice to make sure you're making the right decision. Even though people seem like they're doing the right thing, giving you the right advice, sometimes the intentions are a little altered sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think if you know your friends well enough, Well, for one thing, you could look at your friends and kind of gauge where you are in life and what kind of person you are. Because most
Right.
people, same frequencies and energies, I should say. And if you could look at your friends and you know that they're level-headed and they're not so biased when it comes to different things, they're probably decent people to get advice from. But at the end of the day, you still have to make the decision for yourself.
Self. Hmm.
You
And
know,
that's right. Like I have some good sound friends giving good sound advice.
you know what I think too, though? I think that we almost always know what to do. Almost always, right? Like we almost always can look at our options and then rank our options and be like, well, at least these top two things are probably what I should kind of narrow it down to. I think sometimes that those options are a more difficult path, right? They're not the easy path.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I think we go to other people to see if that person will tell us, oh, just take a shortcut. That person doesn't know they're telling us to take the shortcut because they haven't thought about it. They don't know the nuance. To them, it's an A to
Right.
B thing, right? But what's your thoughts on that?
You see, it's breaking up, right?
No, you good over here.
Okay. My thoughts on that, that's so true. It's like we already know, what's the best way to go. Sometimes it is a difficult thing to do. But it is true that we may gauge, we may get this person's advice or this person's advice and kind of gauge the two, or maybe even receive a little bit of validation of what you was already going to do so that you can get enough motivation to do it. So it could be where you're weighing both sides of the spectrum of like, okay, that did seem a lot, clear for me to do this, but I really don't want to do this. Or let me just see what they say. And we do kind of gauge in between, even though we don't want to admit it. Some people won't really admit it, but I think we do gauge and try to decide, okay, was what I was already planning to do the right thing to do already? And then you start listening, and you're like, all right, bet I already know what to do. I just needed, I guess, the validation.
The validation, you're right. The validation does help. And I think the last time that I talked to my therapist, Dr. E. Dr. E, so me and Dr. E we're gonna have a special on Tuesday night around 8 o'clock on Black men's mental health. So y'all make sure y'all there for that. This is what I was gonna say though. I already knew what action I was gonna take. And this wasn't relationship advice, this was something else. But I already knew what I was gonna do, but I wanted his opinion. And I'm glad that I got his opinion because not only did he validate my perspective and what I was gonna do, he was basically like, do what you were gonna do and go harder.
Mm.
And I hadn't really thought of it that way because the situation I found myself in was one to where I now have to carry more weight. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I need to do it the way I do it, but do it less. And he was like, nah, don't do it less. He's like, do it
Do it
more.
more.
Do it harder. He put the battery in your back. Go hard. Go as hard as you can. And then at least find out like how hard you can go.
Right.
And so I just say that to say, like, I think it's good sometimes to sit down and work all of it out yourself, come to some type of conclusion or at least one or two options, and then go to that good friend or person that you that can help you out a little bit. Hold on right quick. Hold on. Julie said, do you do that often? Ask people their opinion knowing you already know what you're going to do. I can be a bit of a know-it-all per se. Maybe not to an annoying point, but I wouldn't say I do it a lot, but I'm a problem solver. So I like to hear other people's opinions, but because I've sat down and like I explained this to Julie a lot, it's like I'll sit down with the issue and I'll map the whole thing out. So a lot of the stuff I already know. I think it's what you said, Vicky. A lot of times I'm looking for the validation or just
The reassurance.
the reassurance, the perspective to be like, nah, dog, you're not tripping. Like, yeah, like you figured it out. You had the solution. You good. Go ahead.
Hmm. That's true.
So let's Erica say she didn't mean to decline. So let's ask Erica her opinion on friendships, friends give relationship advice, and then we're gonna get out of here. Erica,
Hey,
Okay.
Erica, Erica.
how are you?
Um, Erica, let me ask you this. Are you the type of person to give your friends relationship advice?
They ask me, and I always ask them, "Do you want the truth, or do you want me to pat your flesh? Because I'm gonna give it to you straight." And then sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Like I have a thin line between giving them my advice and then they don't use it, right? Once I see that they don't use it, I don't give my advice anymore. Because I'll tell them, like, no, I'm not giving you my advice because you don't use it. You're not taking, you didn't take none of the advice that I gave you previously. So yeah.
Hold on. So let's look at that. I come to you, my friend. We friends.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Eric, I got this issue. I want your opinion. And then you give me your opinion, and I do something different. And you're not gonna give me any advice anymore just because I didn't take your opinion that one time?
I mean, no, not the one time. It's like if I say for instance, like I have a homegirl that always say, "Oh, I love your smile. What did you do to get your smile back? What did you do this, that, and third?" Like, and I gave her the whole rundown, and she was like, "Can you help me?" I said, "Sure." I literally wrote everything out in a text message, and I don't even like texting. Told her what to start with, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was probably like 3 months ago. And here it is. I go to a meditation like a couple weeks ago. She said, "Well, how did you find out about that class?" I said, "The class?" I said, "This was a meditation. It's no class. It's like he sent me the invite and I go and I post it on my story to let people know that they can purchase tickets, and then y'all don't purchase tickets. So I can't help you there." And she'll be like, "Well, I just need help rounding. I need help doing this." I'm like, "I gave you all the instructions." So after I did, like, that was multiple times. So now I don't even say nothing because I feel like when you ask and I give it after I gave it to you multiple times, it's not my duty because at this point you're wasting my energy and my time.
Yeah, I think I'm with you because I've gotten to that point before too, especially if it's a repetitive thing. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
like, oh, you got to do this. If you're not gonna do it, stop wasting my time and my energy.
Right. And then it's like, say for instance, like I have friends that want to vent, and I'm like, okay, are you just venting? So you just want me to listen, or do you want my honest truth on what you should do? So I give them that option. And I'm like, no, I really want your honest, opinion. And I'll go and tell them something. And they be like, well, no, that's not so and so. I'll
Mm.
be like, all right, then you don't want my opinion. So after that, like, I'm just not, I don't have many friends. So my circle has gotten very small this past 3 years.
Have
So
you,
it's
you ever
like,
Dr. J advice, or has Dr. J ever given you advice?
no, me and her just became friends through social media again. We went to the same school, same high school and middle school, but we just reconnected. Like I haven't really reached out to her outside of like social media. I need to. I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to.
Hey, both of y'all seem like real cool people. So I,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So before we go, um, Erica, have you ever received or given just like really bad advice?
Mm-mm. That. Mm-mm. I'm a
No.
Virgo. I don't give bad advice. I
Have
really analyze everything before I tell you what it is that you should do. And you know how I know I don't give bad advice?
how?
Because even in my own situation, I analyze my own stuff. And I do go to a therapist, right? And like you said a little while ago, like before you go to them, before you do it, you go to them and you talk it over and see what they say. That's me. And then I'm listening, I'm like, yo, that's exactly what I was gonna do. So, and it's no, I'm not big headed about it or being arrogant, but 9 times out of 10, what I'm telling you, I either been through it before, or it's been times when I ain't take my own advice. Like, just how you sit and you be thinking like, all right, I should do this. A call coming through. I should do this, that, and the third, and then I'm like, no, I shouldn't, and that wind up screwing me over. So from that point on, I just listen to what it is, my first instinct, and just go with it. My father used to always say, go with your first instinct. Any gut feeling that tells you to don't do something, or do it, you do it. Don't look for nobody else to confirm what you're trying to do. Just do it, because if not, you're gonna mess yourself up. And he was right. That I messed my whole entire self up that whole 2019. Not
Vicky,
listening to my own advice. Huh?
Nah, I thought you was done. Hey, Vicky.
Yeah.
Vicky. Earth to Vicky.
Can you hear me? Because
Yeah,
I know I'm going through.
it's all good. I know you're driving. Do you have anything for us in closing?
No, just basically, just analyze every situation. Look at it on 3 sides: your side, the other side, and the real side. Truth. And just try to make the best decisions possible, but don't always go with what everyone else is saying just in hopes of it working, because we don't really know the intentions. But if you know that you have a real decent, good person that give you sound advice, definitely go with it. But some people really use those other people's advice as crutches.
Mm-hmm.
So just be very mindful, think about it, analyze it, pray about it, and go with the best option possible. But sometimes when you go and you jump and don't really think it all the way through, sometimes we kind of overreact, or I wouldn't say overreact, but get all the way through, basically. So just be mindful.
Okay, cool. I think she lost service. Erica, you got anything in closing?
I agree with everything that she said. Like, it's not really good to get people advice. Like, it's okay to listen, but some things you just have to know, like, within yourself. And that's why it's always good to, be in tune with yourself, because yourself, you have to trust yourself and know yourself for you to get the best outcome. Because I done had people tell me, no, you don't need to get a divorce and you need to stay with this man, this, that, and the third. And I listened and it got me nowhere. So if you know yourself and you trust yourself, it's no need to really look outside of yourself.
Got you. Yeah, I guess I kind of look at it like it's okay to get advice from friends. I think the important thing is to know that you are the one who's going to have to live with the consequences and repercussions of whatever choice you make. So, if your friend gives you advice and you take the advice and it doesn't turn out bad, it's not fair. Or it's not fair to turn around to them and blame them. You have to take responsibility and self-accountability for your own actions. And whatever those outcomes are, you take your wins where you get them, you take your losses where you get them, and you learn and you move forward. But I think it's good to have good friends around that will give you good, neutral, advice on how to traverse life. Because there are times where we really don't know which way to go. And having those people around, they kind of pop you open to like, oh, you can go that way. You never thought of this. Do that. Try that. Right. So that's it. But other than that, Erica, I appreciate you and everybody else who's been on today. Shout out to the great-great-grandma who's still texting the guy she was with back in the 1920s. That's pretty cool. Y'all be good. Be safe. Be blessed. If you need a good life coach, holla at me.